Good morning. So it is still early, as per my other early morning drives. But it's been like, 2 weeks, I think, since I posted my last video, and it's definitely brighter and 10 minutes later in the day than I would normally be out and about. It's all good. So, something that really struck me as interesting, weather related, and I've asked around and I got some interesting answers. So I just kind of wanted to throw this out there. It is crazy talk after all. So I'm going to give you my crazy hypothesis on a weather thing. So 3 days ago, it was the temperature had steadily been getting colder, which is to be expected. I mean, that's normal. And with the changing of the weather, as per usual, we had weather pattern changes. So we went from no snow several weeks ago to a little bit of snow, a little bit more snow, and then the temperature right before it really started to drop, we had like this big snowstorm blow through, and 8 inches of snow later, we then had some ice, and the temperature, in addition to having crazy amounts of snowfall, we had the temperatures went down into like the high on Saturday. So today is Tuesday. The high on Saturday was 7 degrees. The low was -2. And then the next day, the high was like 9, I think. And the low was again, remained in the single digits. So Monday, that was Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday, the high was 50, 48 maybe. And we didn't have any major system blow through. We didn't have a lot of wind. And the snow started to melt, which is great. But I found it to be odd. We, normally in the summertime, it's 101 degrees outside, and we get a major, like the sky at noon is black. Major storm system goes through. And then it's like 62 degrees when the storm is moved through. It's because a cold front has moved into the area. And I get it. That's just how weather patterns work. We have a major cold front coming through. Major storm pushes out the hot air. Now it's cool and comfortable for a couple of days. We didn't have any major weather anomalies. Nothing happened to make the temperature rise. No big significant change in events. We had some cloud cover. We had some not cloud cover, which is also called clear skies. And so I'm like, why? We have all of this snow, and then there's ice on top of the snow, because after the snowstorm, we got a small ice storm that moved through. So we've got snow, then we've got ice, which you would think would be radiating cold air, because it's cold. And yet, the temperature raised without any real wind movement. I mean, this is the United States, so there are flags everywhere. Restaurants, houses, everywhere you go, there's a flag. You can see the wind movement by the flag movement. And we've just not had really any kind of wind that was noteworthy of helping change the weather pattern. We've not moved that much closer to the sun in the few rotations that we've had. So why is it 0 degrees one day and 36 hours it's 50 degrees? I had heard that if the temperature changed 2 degrees, we would have a mass extinction event. We went from 0 to 50. I'm still here. So what changed the weather? So I'm like, okay, I pretty up on weather systems. I really enjoy studying the weather, as nerdy as that sounds. But from a very layman's point of view, I like looking at thunderstorms and stuff like that. So I asked a couple of people who are experts in the field of weather, what happened? Why did we go from 0 to 50 in like 36 hours? And then here's the kicker. So normally, okay, fine, 50 degrees in the daytime, but it's going to get cold at night, right? No, it didn't change. You see, we went up and maintained, it was like 47. Okay, it wasn't actually like 50 degrees. I think it might have peaked at 47 degrees. And then like the low was like 44. But it didn't nearly come down like it typically would this time of year. And then we are going to maintain 40s and 50s for the next 2 weeks. What happened? Why did it change? We've got ice everywhere. We haven't had a significant amount, because I was like, well, maybe the sun, just it being there, just being the sun, shot rays at us, and it heated things up. It was completely cloudy, or completely sunny when it was 3 degrees outside. It was cloudy when it was 9 degrees outside. The sun was there for those 2 days. It didn't really affect the weather much. There was, again, nothing significant from one day to the next to have caused it to increase and then maintain. With all of this ice and snow, and the pavement is frozen, all of the major bodies of water around here are frozen, you'd think that it would have radiated cool air off of itself. And so I was asking around, like, what happened? The only answer they could give me was global warming, which, climate change, yes. And I've got, the scientists aren't saying why the climate is changing. I know why the climate is changing, and I'll get to that in a different video. I have proof. But there's no such thing as global warming. So, and in the 60s and 70s, the big fear was that they were trying to push politically was global cooling. The surface of the temperature was cooling. We were getting too cold, everybody. It's too cold. Look it up. Time magazine even had an article about global cooling with penguins on the front cover. Global cooling, and now our generation's crisis is global warming. Of course, it's going to go back to global cooling, or global blandness is probably the next one. But, it's not a real thing. Global warming does not exist, so just chalk that out. It's if you are a global warming fanatic, understand it's a lie. It doesn't exist. It's just a way to raise money. Here's my theory, and nobody has been able to disprove this. It is the gods that are changing the weather pattern. You see, here's my theory. Everything happens for a reason. There were several people, hundreds of people, that died as a result of this snowstorm. Everybody's days are numbered. And I strongly believe that. I believe whoever needed to be targeted and killed, or maimed, or whatever needed to happen because of a snowstorm happened. They're dead. Their lives have been altered. Whatever needed to take place. And now we can get on with it. And the gods will just crank that weather, crank up the thermostat, because we no longer need to take anybody out with this weather system. That's my theory. All right, I'm at work. Until next time, stay crazy.